What's good, everybody? It's your man Big Dom, host of the True Players Podcast, hitting you with the upfront, blatantly honest, in-your-face, no punches held opinions on sports, current events, relationships, and many other topics along the way. Check out this next episode of my podcast.
You can never be too G'd up for love. Get out of here, take a little flight, get lost in love, let's go. Ma, it's no problem to hold you, tongue stroke you, please you like I'm supposed to, touch spots that ain't ever been touched, and I won't stop till both these squirrels get their nuts, hey, you know it's good when we freakin', king size squeaking, after I ease in, if you was with me baby 24/7, best believe that every single day would be a sweet day, Girl, you sweeter than a cheesecake. If you want beef, prophecy would be a beefcake. I make love to you till you fall asleep, leave you with sweet dreams between the sheets.
Was the night before that night. I was born on that day, but not last night. Once upon a time, I had my cash right.
What's good, everybody? It's man Big Dom coming live and at you, the True Players Podcast episode. Yes, I am live. And before I even start, I'm going to place a link in the chat so you guys can definitely come and join the podcast. And ask some questions because I am legitimately live. There's no live stream, passing on all that stuff. I'm live. And the reason I'm live today, I know you guys haven't seen me in about a month. Things happen. So, but I'm back now. Can't wait to talk to you guys about the big week in New York sports all around. But let me get back. There's some condolences I have to send out to the families of Harry Belafonte, who just passed away this week on Tuesday. And also today, we just heard the announcement of Jerry Springer passing away. Guys who've been on the TV screen, entertaining us, whether through talk shows or through music or through acting. Just want to wish the families big condolences in regards to that. All right, so let's get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. The big week. You heard the big news from Jets land. You heard anybody who was watching the game yesterday, seen the Knicks move on to the second round of playoffs. But before I even get into all of that, it's a lot of things that's going on in New York sports. The Rangers are in the playoffs. Let's talk about hockey. I don't talk about hockey a lot. I know just a little bit, but I just know enough to say some things when it comes to the playoffs. The Rangers and Devils are battling it out right now. I believe the series is 2-2, I believe. And the Islanders stayed alive in the playoffs against the Hurricanes. So let's see what happens on the hockey side of things. Maybe because we can see we're gonna probably see most likely going to see one of the teams from the Tri-State area in the second round. But let's see if we can get two of them in the second round of the playoffs in hockey land in the NHL. All right, so great. Let's get into it with the New York Jets, ladies and gentlemen. After months of procrastination by the Packers, I blame them for this. Aaron Rodgers is finally a New York Jet. He had his press conference yesterday. The trade details is the Packers get the 13th pick of this year's draft and the second round pick and the 6th round pick from this year's draft and the conditional 2024 second round pick, which will become a first rounder if Rodgers plays 65% of the plays during the season. What the Jets get back is they did a swap in the first round. They get the 15th pick in the draft and the 5th round pick for this year. Now, there's a lot of people beefing about this trade that the Jets got fleeced because Aaron Rodgers is 40 years old, this, that, and the other. How did the Jets get fleeced when all they did was went down 2 more spots in the first round this year? And if Aaron Rodgers plays 65% of the games and the Jets go to where we believe the Jets will be going, which will possibly be a Super Bowl, will be a late round pick in the first round, which is probably 28, 29, or 30 pick. How did the Jets get fleeced off this trade? If you're a Jet fan, and you believe the Jets got fleeced off this deal, then you need to renounce yourself as a Jet fan. Real talk. I'm coming at you guys straight, I'm telling you straight facts. Just renounce yourself as a New York Jet fan. The Aaron Rodgers was the player that the Jets were waiting for. They got their man. So apparently, they don't do a good job drafting good quarterbacks. So, how will Aaron Rodgers pan out for the New York Jets? I think let's take it year by year. Like he said in his press conference, he doesn't know what's going to happen next year. He only knows what's going to happen this year. As long as the Jets fix their offensive linemen, they got Dwayne Brown back for one more year. Mekhi Becton is in phenomenal shape. The only thing is, let's see him on the field. Let's see him practicing. Let's see him in some ball games before we make a determination or an assessment on him. But the key factor with Mekhi Becton, he has to be available. He has to be on that field playing because he is playing for his career right now. He is a free agent. The Jets did not pick up his fifth year option. So this is his contract year. And what better way to make noise is on your contract year? What better noise to do that? I see big things with the New York Jets this season. If you guys don't believe me, is it safe to say that they're the team to beat in the AFC East on paper? Yes, but we have to play the games, and championships are not won on paper. They're won on the field. And Aaron Rodgers got some familiar faces on the team, with Alan Lazard joining him. Mecole Hardman from the Chiefs came, and I want to see how this offense is going to click with Garrett Wilson, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Aaron Rodgers is excited to be on this team. I never seen this man smile like this since he won the Super Bowl way back when. My man is legitimately excited to be playing for the New York Jets, excited to put on a New York Jet uniform. Even Joe Namath offered his number 12 to Aaron Rodgers, in which Aaron Rodgers has declined, out of respect for the New York Jets history, out of respect to the only quarterback who has won a Super Bowl with the New York Jets to date, Joe Namath. So he will be wearing number 8 from his college days at Stanford. You know what I'm saying? What attracted him to the New York Jets was the conversation he had with Robert Saleh, conversation he had with Joe Douglas, as he mentioned in his press conference, and also how the Jets kicked his ass last season in Lambeau Field. You saw what it was playing against Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed, throwing the ball against them with Quinnen Williams, rushing him, Carl Lawson rushing him. And the Jets were able to get this done. He restructured his contract. He's only going to be making $1 million, about $1 million this season, which is a big help to the New York Jets cap-wise. It gives them flexibility to re-sign Quinnen Williams. And if Aaron Rodgers does decide to play next season, they can revisit another restructure at that time. But it gives the Jets definitely an opportunity. I thought the Jets was going to trade Corey Davis to the Packers as well, but Corey Davis is still on the team. Only thing was that Odell didn't sign with the New York Jets, which I really don't care. I just felt, this guy, he goes to the Ravens, and they're not even sure if they're going to have Lamar Jackson there. You know what I'm saying? Why would you even do that? I mean, come to the Jets, play with Aaron Rodgers, play with a quarterback who could throw the ball to you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not losing sleep over that. Not at all. I'm not losing sleep over that. No New York Jet should ever lose sleep over that. And I'm going to call out the naysayers, the New York Jet fans who felt that we should have got Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is a player, if you don't believe me, is starting to decline. He's getting injured. Part of declining as a player is your availability on the field. If you're unable to be available on the football field, you're on the decline. Okay? Tom Brady, I'm going to mention Tom Brady, played almost, 20 years? Only missed one full season because of injury. And I understand he plays a different type of quarterback than with Lamar Jackson, but tell me which quarterback has won a Super Bowl running the football? Tell me which quarterback has won the Super Bowl with a thousand yard rushing on his stats? I'll wait. I'll wait. Everybody's lamenting, oh, because he's younger. Lamar Jackson, let me tell you something about Lamar Jackson. And a lot of people like to compare him to Michael Vick. Michael Vick could throw the ball in the pocket. This guy, I seen him throw the ball. It looks awkward coming out of his hand. It looks awkward. You know? So forget that noise. Aaron Rodgers is our quarterback now and for the foreseeable future. We hope the future is the 23 season and the 24 season. And after that, we'll see where we go from there. All right. And I'm gonna call out some people who were saying that the 49ers was a sleeper team to get Aaron Rodgers. Craig Carton, from the fan, needs to shut up. Now he's saying, oh, the Jets are the team to beat. Don't do that, man. Don't do that when you're trying to be a troll for the New York Jet fan, saying that he's going to go to the 49ers. Aaron Rodgers clearly stated on the Pat McAfee show that he wants to play for the New York Jets. Why in the hell would he change his mind and go to the 49ers? Why in the hell would he do that? And Tiki Barber, the same shit. And Tiki Barber, I just can't stand that motherfucker. I really can't stand him. He just say shit just to say shit, just to be relevant. When you retire, your team goes up to win 2 Super Bowls after you retire. You're not that relevant, brother. And Karma's a motherfucker because you know what it is with that guy? He shitted on a coach who saved his football career and made him a borderline Hall of Famer in Tom Coughlin because he taught him how to hold on to the fucking ball. And then him on his show with Brandon Tierney, which I got a problem with too, as far as the New York Mets side of things goes, which I'm going to get you another podcast about that. This is about New York Knicks and New York Jets and NBA playoffs episode. So I'm going to talk about him about the Mets shit too. But yeah, don't be not now all of a sudden they got Aaron Rodgers. Now all of a sudden the Jets are the team to beat from your mouth there too. Meanwhile, you are playing the band saying that he's gonna go to the 49ers. He's gonna go to another team. Don't do that, guys. Don't do that. Stick what you said before. I know your shows need ratings because they probably suck. I know that. That's why you do that shit. It's okay though. It's all right though. As we move on from this, the only problem with the New York Jets now is to focus on re-signing Quinnen Williams, sign him to that contract that he deserves, and let's go from there. That's all I'm saying, New York Jets fans. Let's get him on board into a voluntary training camp, get him acquainted with the new teammates. The NFL draft is tonight, ladies and gentlemen, in about a little bit more over 45 minutes. The NFL draft is tonight. This is the importance of me doing this podcast live and in front of you guys because the draft is tonight. And the Jets got work to do in the draft tonight with their 15th pick. They trust me. The Jets would not have swapped their first round pick of 13 to 15 if the guy on their board was still available at 15. And apparently with Joe Douglas, it is still that player will still be available at 15. So stop shit on the trade right now, and just enjoy the ride. Just enjoy the ride. So let's get down. Now I'm busy. We'll get to the NBA now because, ladies and gentlemen, before I even go to the Knicks, man, let's touch on other playoff games in the on the docket. Still, we got the Lakers and the Grizzlies. And this is probably the first time you ever hear me on a podcast, guys, root for LeBron James and the Lakers to beat the Grizzlies. I don't like the fucking Memphis Grizzlies. They talk too fucking much. They talk too fucking much. They haven't accomplished jack shit in their franchise history. Jack shit. How the fuck are you gonna try to call out LeBron James? You're a garbage player. You got to come and punch that man in his balls to stop him. Saying that he don't give nobody respect who hasn't dropped 40 on you. You don't think LeBron James could drop 40 on you at any time he feels like it? This is the greatest player of this era. Of this era. Yes, I did. LeBron James is the greatest player in this era. And I hope the Lakers beat them and get rid of those damn Memphis Grizzlies. They talk too much. Try to act like tough guys. They're not for the streets. It is all flim and talk. Get out of here, mid Grizzlies. LeBron, end them cats. End them cats for real. Get them out of the playoffs. Gain some maturity. That's what I need. D'Angelo, Anthony Davis, step up to get rid of these bums. Real talk. Sitting there trying to poke the bear. The bear who's the leading scorer in NBA history. Yeah, all right. Yeah, all right. But let's get on to the next series, Suns and Clippers. Suns win the series in 5 games. As soon as Kawhi Leonard went down in game 3 with the torn meniscus in his knee, it was over for the Clippers. But I got to give props to Russell Westbrook and his resurgence. His resurgence as a ball player. People were shitting on him and all types of crap. You know what I'm saying? Give a big shout out to him. This man could go 3 for 18 and still score a lot of points, still give a lot of assists, still grab some rebounds. Guy's a worker on that floor. With all that time, he's still a worker. And he deserves all the respect in the world because people were dogging him. People call him Brick Westbrook, whatever they'll call him. But he did show up in the series. Granted, the Clippers did not have Paul George. It didn't have Kawhi Leonard. If they had those two guys, it would have been a 7-game series. But give credit to the Phoenix. Phoenix is going to be dangerous with Durant and Booker and Chris Paul, who's on his last legs. This is their shot. This is their shot. So we're gonna leave it there with them. The Celtics and the Hawks. Trae Young hits a game-winning shot to keep that series going for the Hawks. But I believe the Celtics will close out the series in 6 games. So, I'm confident the Celtics will beat the Hawks in 6 and move on to play the Sixers, who swept the Nets, the Brooklyn Nets. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, you guys have known I'm not a big Brooklyn Net fan, but I have now. This team for me has become watchable now, and you can tell why. You got young players like Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, and you got Spencer Dinwiddie as the old veteran holding those guys together. And that team, despite the distractions in that organization with the Kyrie Irving shit situation and the Kevin Durant situation, which was not that big of a distraction around that time, but before the season started, it was. But for this team to overcome that, to go from I believe they were the 3rd seed at the time they traded both Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. The team to end up with the 6th seed. Granted they got swept, but it only illuminates their weaknesses as a basketball team, which is they need bigs who could be bangers. They don't have those bangers in the blocks. Guys who get tough rebounds. That's what they need. Maybe they can swing a trade next season for Karl Anthony Towns. You never know. You never know what could happen. Could they have signed Dwight Howard? Or traded for Andre Drummond to bring some beef to the front line to go up against Embiid? That was a tough matchup for them. Because of Embiid. That was a tough matchup for them. And he missed 1 game and he still were able to beat the Nets. And that was a game they should have won. They should have stole that game without Embiid playing. But you gotta give him much respect. At least At least they made the playoffs, and Kyrie did not make the playoffs, even though he was easily should have been in the playoffs with the Mavericks with Doncic. You know what I'm saying? With Luka. Easily should have been in the playoffs. But I digress. Let's get to the last playoff series I want to talk about before we head to the Knicks. Before we talk about the Knicks. Milwaukee Bucks against the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat ends the Milwaukee Bucks season, who were the favorites in the East to come out of the East for the NBA Finals. And for some reason or another, the Miami Heat, if you agree with me or not, is the Milwaukee Bucks kryptonite. I'll tell you that. They beat the Milwaukee Bucks in the bubble. I mean, I know the Bucks beat them in the playoff series after that, but that was with a hurt Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is a beast in the playoffs. It's going to be a tough matchup for anybody in the playoffs. There's two different Jimmy Butlers. There is regular season Jimmy and playoff Jimmy. And playoff Jimmy showed up in this series. 56 points, 42 points yesterday. That's what the Knicks got to worry about on Sunday at the Garden. Yes, the second round of the playoffs. Eastern Conference semifinals. The New York Knicks have the home court advantage. Game 1, MSG, this coming Sunday. And as we talk about that, let's get ready to round off this podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give it up to the New York Knicks, dispatching the Cleveland Cavaliers in 5 games. Big series for Jalen Brunson. Big series for RJ Barrett. After the first 2 games with RJ Barrett, his status as a New York Knick, untouchable, was on the line. After those 2 bad games, the fans was getting on him on Twitter, saying that he was garbage. They should now the fans hate RJ Barrett so bad they had to know to say that they should have drafted Darius Garland. That's how bad the hate came on RJ Barrett. And like a true professional, like a true G, he rose and shut the haters down. 19 points, game 3. 26 points, game 4. Game 5, 22 points. And he's learning how to pick his spots to score. The last game he was highly efficient. 21 points. I'm sorry, not 22, but 21 points, 7 for 13 shooting. That's how you get it done. That's what the number 3 pick in the draft is supposed to do. When the stats when the chips are against him, he rises and shows his true mettle, and that's what RJ Barrett did. So I don't want to hear my friends who are RJ Barrett haters to say that he's garbage. You don't like the way he plays, because the fact that the way he plays is the reason why the New York Knicks are going to the second round. The guy is playing with 2 ball dominant players, and that's not good for a guy who is a volume scorer. RJ Barrett, as everyone should know, is not an efficient scorer. He's a volume scorer. Know the difference. Volume scorers need guys who need to play with guys who are passers, not ball dominant players like you have with Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson. Their talents would be diminished when they're playing with those type of players. But now RJ Barrett is learning how to be efficient with his shots. He took the ball more to the basket. Get into the basket, get into the free throw line. He could improve his free throw shooting. Yes, he should improve his free throw shooting. And that should happen during the offseason. He needs to improve. He needs to get a post game. He needs a little bit of a mid-range game to work on in the postseason. But we worry about the postseason later because he's still playing on Sunday. Shout out to you, RJ Barrett haters. Sorry he disappointed y'all. Sorry, but not sorry. That includes my friends who hate on him too. Sorry, but not sorry. And how about Josh Hart? Yesterday, Yesterday's game played all but 1 minute. How about that? 12 rebounds for a guard, 4 points. I call Josh Hart is officially Mr. Intangible. Mr. Intangible, what they call? They call Reggie Jackson Mr. October. He needs to be called Mr. April, May, and June. And hopefully the Knicks will keep playing until June, which they do have a great shot in doing right now. How about the center, Mitchell Robinson? The difference of him not playing against the Hawks 2 years ago and him playing in this playoff series in which he dominated. He dominated Allen. He dominated that other kid, Mobley, who's going to be a hell of a player. That little center. He's going to be a hell of a player once he gets some meat on his bones. Start going to the gym and shit and work out. He's going to be a problem, but not this year. He's going home. He's going fishing. Mitchell Robinson gave you 13 points, 18 rebounds, dominated the offensive glass, He just changed the trajectory of the shots. Any shot that came in the lane, he was there to be a problem for. Darius Garland was not getting easy shots. Donovan Mitchell was not getting easy shots. Karis LeVert didn't get easy shots, and I felt Karis LeVert was the most consistent playoff performer for the Cleveland Cavaliers in this series, the most consistent. And you would expect that because he played in New York, he played for Brooklyn in the playoffs with Spencer Dinwiddie, with Kenny Atkinson as his head coach. This guy had been to the playoffs, so has Donovan Mitchell. But this guy has been in the playoffs while playing in New York. This guy, this stage should not have phased him, and it didn't phase him. He was the only one that was producing on a consistent basis. Yes, Donovan Mitchell had big games, but it wasn't, it was a quiet 20-something points. It wasn't impactful like the way Donovan Mitchell usually is an impactful player. You know what I'm saying? First series win, playoff series win since 2012-2013 season when Carmelo and Woodson and Rashid and Tyson Chandler, Shump, J.R. Smith, Ray Felton, Jason Kidd, those were the players. But this team has the opportunity to go further than the semifinals. You know why? Because the Miami Heat made their trip to the East Conference Finals much more easier. Like I said, easier in quotations, but not easier in the sense that these are two evenly matched teams. I'm not gonna go into the preview just yet. Just guys, hold on for me for that on that preview. You guys are going to love it. But the big problem is with New York Knicks is Julius Randle hurt the same ankle he hurt before the season ended. You know what I'm saying? He hurt his ankle just before halftime yesterday. The Knicks do need Julius Randle. I know I've been beating up Julius Randle, but the way he played when he didn't have a shot going in Game 4, he didn't have a shot going in Game 3, where he passes, that's the way a superstar is supposed to play. When he doesn't have his A game, he finds ways to make his teammates better, and I saw in Julius Randle he did that. He went up and grabbed rebounds. He went up and made the big assists, being a decoy out there. When he wasn't in shape, guys, the guy didn't play the last 10 games of the season because of an ankle injury. He was not in shape for this series. He was playing some bully ball, yesterday. He was scoring some points, trying to prove everybody that he still got it. I get it. I get what he was trying to do. You know what I'm saying? So, as my internet's going in and out on you guys, so if you see me talk like a kung fu master, it's because of the internet. Damn Optimum. Got to fix that up. Well, anyway, he gets hurt. He comes back. We come back after halftime. I'm here thinking, if the Knicks don't close this out, it's going to be trouble for the rest of the series. Guess what happens? Obitoppin drops 12 points in the first 5 minutes in the third quarter. First 5 minutes. For all you guys who were doubting that Obi Toppin only plays well, plays great against a C squad at the end of the season, he just proved to you in the big time that he could be a important player in the playoffs. Game 4, Julius Randle sat the bench during crunch time when Cleveland was doing that was doing their runs. It was Obi Toppin on the floor playing the 5. And that was a bold move from Thibodeau, and I was surprised he did it, but it was the right decision to make. Thibodeau is growing on me in this series. I think he's growing as a coach. But until Obi played the first 7 minutes in the third quarter and did not see the court after that for the rest of the game. When a player picks up the slack for your injured superstar, he deserves that playing time. It didn't cost them because they went with a small lineup with Josh Hart, Mitchell, Barrett, Brunson, and Quickly to close out the game in the fourth quarter. I get it. I understand it. It's all good. I forgive you, Tibbs, for that. But as far as I'm concerned, ladies and gentlemen, as far as I'm concerned, this was a big series win for the New York Knicks. A lot of players stepped up. Obi Toppin stepped up. And finally, Emmanuel Quickly had a good game during this series. He finally had a great game in this series. Shooting wasn't great, but he did drop in. I believe he dropped in 19 points yesterday to clinch the series. And hopefully that gets him on a roll for the next series against the Miami Heat, which I'm going to go into right now, guys. I'm going to go into it right now before we end the podcast. All right? This is going to be a tough series for the New York Knicks. And like I said, the New York Knicks played against regular season Jimmy Butler. They're going to see a different Jimmy Butler on Sunday. Playoff Jimmy. And playoff Jimmy ain't nothing to mess with. So RJ Barrett need to put on his big boy pants again. Probably even more than he did last series. To stop Jimmy Butler. Tyler Hero. Bam Adebayo. And then losing Randle probably going to lose Randle for the first game. And I hope not, because, they need him. But if they do, Obi has to play a hell of a game. Play tough defense. Contribute on the offensive end. He needs to apply pressure. Get some rebounds. Him and Mitchell Robinson got to play great. Hartenstein, who's filled in admirably as a backup center. I know I've been beating him up the entire season. I've been beating his ass up the entire season. But, he got to step up too. He's going to step up too in this series, and we're going to see what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to see what's going to happen. I'm excited. I think the Knicks is going to win this series in 7 games and go on to face the winner of Celtics and the 76ers. In 7. They're going to win in 7. But it's going to be a bruising, tough series like the New York Knicks and the Miami Heat usually are. You know what I'm saying? So let's see what happens. I'm excited. I wish I could get my good buddy Matthew to join me on the podcast. Probably do a little something before Sunday. Let's see what happens. I'm going to reach out to him after I do this podcast. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, it's your man Big Don. I want to sign off on this podcast. You can watch this podcast on YouTube, Patreon. Definitely subscribe and like my Facebook page. Follow me on Instagram. You see the link that on the ticker on the bottom. Definitely follow. I need you guys to follow me, provide me with inspiration to do more episodes for you guys and get this on and popping. Keep in mind one thing, there is a spinoff of the True Players podcast that's going to be happening, I would say, in about a month or so. We're in the process of putting everything together to make that happen to you. New intro for that podcast. You know what I'm saying? New genre. It's going to be more of an interview style. I'm going to invite some people to do some interviews with. I want to invite someone who did an interview with 2 years ago. You know who she is, Miss Yolanda Brathwaite. I want to have her back on the show for that to open up. Like I said, it's going to be in about a month from now. So we're going to get everything up and prepared and rolling. Me and Joey G going to up again. Bless you guys on both podcasts. It's a big thing for the True Players podcast. 2 months. We're exactly 2 months away from the anniversary, for 5-year anniversary. 2 months away. 5-year anniversary of the True Players podcast, and I'm excited to be back with you guys after a month. We're gonna keep the good times rolling, and more episodes coming soon. We're gonna line up some episodes for you guys, definitely. So, like I said, you can watch the podcast, subscribe to my YouTube channel, subscribe to my Patreon channel, follow me on Facebook on my Facebook page, follow me on my Instagram page. I need all the support I can get to keep this podcast rolling for you guys. And you can listen to the podcast on Anchor, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, and all your other platforms to listen to the podcasts. It's your man, Big Dom. I'm going to sign off on this podcast. I'll hit you guys soon. Peace.